Nadwa Perquet is a San Diego resident, 60-year-old woman, and like so many of us, over the weekend she was working on her computer when all of a sudden, unexpectedly, the computer froze. And then a pop-up message showed up and it said, "We suspect your computer's been infected by malware or a virus. Call this number now. We can help you." Innocently and unsuspectingly, she called the number. She was informed by the technician that answered the call that, yeah, it was very likely her computer was infected. And if she would just click in and allow a screen share session to occur, they could fix her problem. It would cost her $120. That was step one in a multi-part scam. The end result being Nadwa lost over $200,000. So in this episode, we're going to get deep into tech scams. My name is Philip Macko. I'm the host of the Muddy Waters YouTube series and podcast. I'm a 5-time published author, and today we're going to focus on 3 types of tech scams: refund scams, tech support scams, and subscription cancellations. First, let's take a look at the numbers and how large of a problem this has become. And then we're going to dive deeper into the country of origin, the tactics that are used, and the most common 7 companies that they're creating these scams under. The Internet Crime Complaint Center of the FBI, called IC3, in 2022 received 2,175 reports every day. In 2023, that number rose to 2,414, an 11% increase. Their most recently published report was for year 2022, looking backwards 5 years, and you can see how the numbers have grown and changed over that time. Focusing specifically on tech support scams, there were 14,000 reports in 2018, 32,000 in 2022, and 37,500 in 2023. That's a significant nearly 3-time increase. And if you look at the amount of phishing attacks that have occurred, tech support scams account for almost 10%. Almost 10%. In any country around the world, there's one that stands out amongst many. It's estimated between 80 and 95% originate in India. And here's how it works. Step 1 in these attacks is obtaining your information. Listen, it may feel like a random outreach when you get a phishing email, when you get a phone call, when you get a text message alerting you to a problem, suggesting you take action and telling you need to do so immediately. It may feel like a random attack. I assure you it's not. I'm recording this episode on June 10th of 2024, and year to date, as of June 10th, there have been 5.1 billion records breached, and that equates to 2,098 individual instances of data breaches. Now, what kind of information are they getting? They're getting your name, they're getting your address, they're getting, in some cases, your IP address, in some cases, your social security numbers, names of your relatives, your banking information, maybe bank account numbers, and finally, things you're subscribed to, businesses you buy from. All of that information and much more is made available and sold on the dark web. A previous episode gets into how the dark web works, and I encourage you, if you haven't, please do listen to that. But just know that before that outreach occurs, they already know many, many things about you. It's not happening randomly. Step 2 involves putting the bait on the hook and tossing that hook into the water, right? And what is that hook trying to catch? It's trying to catch you. And listen, they're not just reaching out to you. Think of this. They spend every working day going methodically through their list of thousands to hundreds of thousands of potential victims, sending out phishing emails that appear to be from companies we'll talk about in just a moment, tech support from companies we'll talk about in just a moment, purchase support, whatever that may be. It falls generally within one of 3 categories. It relates to computer problems, subscription refunds, and or subscription or purchase cancellations. Step 3 in this scam is to present you with a problem, to offer you a solution, and then to create a sense of urgency. And let me just state this plainly for all of you. Let's take tech scams as an example. Microsoft will never proactively call you. They will only respond to a service request that you initiate. Amazon rarely calls buyers. Let's say you get a message that says, we're notifying you that someone purchased an iPhone on your account for $784. Contact us at this number. Amazon rarely does that. And here's the thing. If you get these kinds of messages, keep yourself safe. All you have to do is look up their number online, look at the number that you were given from the phishing email or the SMS message, whatever it may be. It's not the same number, it's not the company, period. Go into your Amazon account, see if there was actually a fraudulent purchase, and if there was, use the phone number from the website to contact them. But in an effort to educate all of us on how these scams work, I want to tell you how this whole process unfolds. Let's say you slip up, you have a moment of weakness, you call this number, they get you on the phone and say, hey, there's a problem with your account. We noticed that you're paying for a subscription you're not using, or you had a purchase on your account that we don't think you did, and we want to solve that for you, and we can do that right now. But, and here's the big but, we need access to your computer, and once we get it, we can fix all this. They're then going to say, click your Windows and the R key at the same time, which opens up a command prompt on Windows systems. And they're going to ask you to go to and install one of many, including AnyDesk, GoToAssist, LogMeIn, or TeamViewer. And you need to know that once you do that, they now have access to your entire computer. They can start copying files. If you want to see how this works in real time, there's a couple phenomenal YouTubers out there. Scammer Payback being one of them. Shout out to Pierogi. Trilogy Media being another. Shout out to Art and Ashton. They do a fantastic job. Number one, showing you how the scam works in real time. Number two, wasting the time of the scammer, and hilariously in most cases. But what you'll see is that once they gain access to your computer using one of these tools, the screen's then going to black out. They're going to make an excuse for why it's blacking out. This is when they're starting to pull your data. Then comes step 4, and this is where it gets really nefarious. Step 4, they're going to issue a refund to you for that iPhone fraudulent purchase, or they're going to charge you for that $120 service now that they've gained access to your banking information and everything about you that's on your computer. They're going to cancel that subscription. But in the case of refund scams especially, they're accidentally going to put an extra zero, possibly several zeros. So let's say you're owed $784, right? And the quote-unquote Amazon rep says, now that I have access to the account, I'm going to credit you X amount of money. And they ask you then, with them on the line, to go into your bank and see that you've been issued this refund. But mysteriously, instead of the refund being for $784, it's $7,840 or $78,400. And then the real trickery begins. And it's so obvious when you know what's happening, but I'll give you stats at the end of this video of how many people fell for these refund scams and how much money it cost them. It's unbelievable that still to this day, so many people don't know what to look out for, that they're falling for these scams. But they're going to say to you, oh my goodness, I was supposed to give you $784, but I gave you $78,400. I'm going to lose my job and the company's going to sue you and come after you legally. You have to send that money back. Well, here's what's happening behind the scenes. And again, don't believe me, go to Scammer Payback, see what Pierogi does. You can see it on the screen in real time. I'm not as technically savvy as he is. I'm not going to scam bait because I don't have the skill sets he has. But I can tell you that he does, and he catches them and he shuts them down, and it's beautiful and it's brilliant. But what they can actually do is manipulate the HTML for your bank account such that they can move money from checking to savings, or they can put money fictitiously into your account that doesn't exist by manipulating that code, and it will appear to you if you've just received this money. Here's where it takes a turn for the weird, right? So now they've given you proof, now they've created the urgency, you have to send that money back right away. I don't want my company to come after you legally. I'm going to lose my job, whatever the case may be. You're not just going to bank wire the money back, because that would be internet fraud and very traceable, right? The money coming from the bank, there's records within that bank. There's people that are responsible for watching out for fraudulent activities. That's going to get caught, flagged, traced back to them. So they have to have untraceable methods to get the money back. And listen to what they're doing. Go to CVS and buy gift cards. Buy Best Buy gift cards for $7,000 or $5,000. And oh, by the way, dear, don't tell anybody what you're doing. Tell them it's for personal reasons. Tell them it's for your grandson or your granddaughter, your son, your daughter, whatever the case may be. Make up a story, but don't tell them that it's actually coming back to Microsoft. Why would a Microsoft, an actual Microsoft employee, accept gift cards rather than direct payment? Why would an Amazon employee refunding you for an iPhone that was fraudulently purchased, why would they accept gift cards instead of an actual remittance back from your bank, right? So they're going to tell you buy gift cards. They're going to tell you take out the cash from your bank, get a box, get some tape, get a magazine, and tape the money inside that magazine, or get a book and tape the money inside that book, because we need it to get to us, and we're afraid if it goes through customs from here to our office, it's going to get intercepted unless you disguise it. That should be setting off all kinds of bells and red flags, right? So that's step 4 in the process. Now that we know how they operate and what to look out for, let's look at the top 7 companies that scammers are pretending to be from. Number 7 on our list, Amazon, with 3.1 million messages, whether they be phone messages or emails or SMS. 3.1 million fraudulent messages sent last year alone. And as you can see on the screen, there are 17 core scam tactics used associated with Amazon accounts. Take the time to read Norton's research. Number 6 on our list, DocuSign, with 3.5 million fraudulent outreaches in 2023 alone. And know this, DocuSign will never ask you to open a PDF or to unzip a zip file. Never. So if you receive something like that, you will automatically know it's a scammer. Always go to their website. Number 5 on our list is AOL, with 5.5 million fraudulent messages. Number 4 on our list, Google, with 6.1 million fraudulent messages last year alone. DHL, 8.8 million. Adobe, 9.4 million. And now for the pièce de résistance, the final, the Mac Daddy, Microsoft. In 2023 alone, 20 million fraudulent messages were sent by people claiming to be from Microsoft. And let me just repeat to be clear, Microsoft will never send you an unsolicited outreach. In their pop-up messaging, they will never list a phone number. So when you get these, you know what they are. Earlier on, I promised you some numbers, and here they are. In 2023, there were $12.5 billion lost to fraudulent scams. Of that 12.5 billion, 2.7 billion were to tech scams, a full 21.6%. Now you can see how prevalent it really is. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Now that you know the scope of the problem, now that you know where the scam is likely originating from, the tactics that are used, and the companies that are being impersonated, there's only one thing left to do, and that's to keep yourself safe. Again, my name is Philip Macko. If you got something from this episode, I hope you'll click the thumbs up button. I hope you'll subscribe if you haven't done so already. Maybe share this with someone you know, especially those who are not as technically savvy as perhaps you and I are, that need to know this information to keep themselves and their loved ones safe. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you'll join me on the next episode, and I hope you have an excellent day.